Welcome to episode 2 of the rebirth of Lucha Underground. This is Cero Miedo, the throne lies empty. We open the show with a brilliant mariachi band, Vote Pedro, introducing the episode and playing over the loud crowd before the stage went upwards and out of the way. Samoa Joe's epic music then hit, and the dominant Samoan strolled to the ring with a smirk on his face. He climbed up on the apron with a microphone, but refused to climb into the ring. Joe said it felt good to be here in the temple, and that he should have come here a long time ago. With his help, maybe Lucha Underground in its original form could have even been everyone's favourite wrestling promotion right now. But instead it had to take a long break, and then return with a main event featuring a dinosaur and a punk-ass kid who doesn't know any better, so he had to step in. Here, there's no bloodline, just one badass Samoan chief who is ready to take over the place that he should have come to a long time ago. Samoa Joe left as El Grande Americano and Los Americanos arrived. They kept their distance and celebrated with the crowd as Joe and El Grande caught each other's eyes, and there was a lot of tension there. Americano then led his friends to the ring, fist bumping fans on the way like only he can. We got an amazing tag team match to kick off the in-ring action. The dark and dingy fight pit that is the temple really seemed to suit both of these gritty duos. The Creeds were like weapons, using every part of their bodies to control their smaller and plucky opponents, and they ended up dominating things. They hit double spine busters with a collision of Los Americanos spines in between, and it was enough to score the win. The Creed brothers weren't done though. They slammed Rayo and Bravo's heads together and stood dominant over the fallen luchadors as the crowd begged for El Grande Americano to get in and save his boys. The Creeds dared him to as well, and he slowly pulled himself up into the apron, but it was a trap. The OG Americano came out of nowhere and stuck a forearm in the back of El Grande's head before taking his rival down with a double leg and pounding him into the mat. With the crowd behind him, El Grande fought back, but the Creeds got involved and it was 3-on-1. El Grande was left in a bloody heap, and the group of American athletes looked powerful and strong, Ivy Nile applauding them from ringside. Just like last week, Penta confronted Dominic Mysterio backstage and tried to uncle him. He said he can't believe that Dom did nothing to help his father Ray 7 days ago, when clearly Ray put his body in between Samoa Joe and Dom, and he still can't believe that a punk like Dom even came from a legend like Ray. Dom ignored him and asked him if he likes his new gloves, which Penta was even more annoyed by. Dom then said that Penta should focus on the enemies he already has, like Joe and his main event opponent Santos Escobar, rather than going out of his way to look for new ones. Another great tag team match here. Psycho Clown and Pagano seemed to let the standard rules of a wrestling match go. They used weapons and completely disregarded count-out warnings at times, and the referee let a lot of this go. However, Rey Fénix and Dragon Lee are building something, and they won their second match in as many weeks. Dragon Lee hit a Dragon Driver on Psycho Clown. Next we saw the Nigerian Prince from last week making his way into an empty temple in a pre-taped video, and once again he approached the ring. He walked slowly around and up the steel steps before climbing through the ropes. He was very comfortable to be in there, and then he turned around and faced the camera. His mask was covering his face, so it's unclear who this was, but we perhaps got a bit of a clue when he spoke into a microphone. He said that it was almost 10 years ago that he debuted with the main roster of the WWE, and while he has won championships in that time, he's not lived up to anywhere near the potential that he had. But now, he's a different man, a dangerous man with an entire nation behind him. We saw an absolutely brilliant video package next, highlighting the legacies and destiny of the new La Parka and the new Dr. Wagner. La Parka follows in the footsteps of two legendary competitors, one of which, La Parka Jr., passed away following an injury in a match in 2020. Across the ring from him tonight is the son of Dr. Wagner Jr. and the grandson of the original Dr. Wagner. He is El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., and like La Parka is the third man in this legendary lineage. However, unlike La Parka, for Wagner, this is what he was born into. Two men who respect the craft, respect the ring, and respect the legacies they represent, or so the fans thought. Dr. Wagner was in control for much of it, respecting his opponent as well as the fans, but just when La Parka was fighting back and getting the crowd behind him, Wagner gouged his eyes out with both hands, and the charismatic youngster fell to the floor in agony. Moments later, the crowd booed. He hit his Wagner driver and scored a big win. In his his office, El Jefe himself, the Undertaker, was holding 5 tarot cards, and he was pondering things. Before laying them out on his table, he spoke prophetically and showed no emotion, saying that Lucha Underground needs a champion to defend the temple. He laid out the attributes and characters of some of the 5 men, and he was considering for this. Samoa Joe doesn't chase, he arrives and he takes. The son walks in the shadow of the father, but the shadow devours the light. Santos, once hunted in darkness, but does he forget the weight of the crown he once wore? A king who does not hunt becomes prey. Penta, bone by bone, he speaks in pain. Will he make everyone understand him? 5 men, 1 fate. Judgment awaits. We got a big week next week. Chelsea Green makes her in-ring return in Lucha Underground, and we're going to see a tag team tournament get underway, with the winners becoming the first ever Lucha Underground tag team champions. Speaking of returns to the temple, flanked by Angel Umberto, the king, Santos Escobar, marched out to the ring ready to fight, and he better be ready, because standing in his way was the breaker of arms, the vicious and violent former Lucha Underground champion, Fénix. In the 8 years that have passed since the temple closed its doors, seemingly for good, Penta and Santos Escobar have changed a lot, but there's something pulling at Escobar to return to his roots and what made him such a successful king in Lucha Underground all those years ago. He was up against a killer in Penta, and the two of them had a short but impactful brawl that took them all over the ringside area. In the end though, as good as Santos is, and as helpful as Berto and Angel were, they could do nothing to stop the momentum of the man who once held the Lucha Underground title for over 600 days. The Mexican Destroyer did for Santos in the end, but Berto and Angel pulled their leader out under the bottom rope before he could have his arm taken by Cero Miedo. Mil Muertes approached the purple glowing rock he saw in the ring last week. He went to pick it up and throw it to Destroyer, but something made his hand burn. Just then Dario Cuerno approached from behind and looked like he was up to something. He told Mil that he might help him with his stone problem, and in return Mil could help Dario with something. When Mil stood up and cracked his fist, Dario explained that he thinks the Lucha Underground has an Undertaker problem, and Mil might be the only force strong enough to stop him. So let me know in the comments. So far we've seen Chelsea Green and Mil Muertes, Dario Cuerno, Rey, Fénix, Penta, Santos Escobar, and Rey Mysterio return to the temple. Who's been your favourite fresh look 8 years on, and why? Join me next time where we'll see episode 3, Hell Finds an Ally Beneath the Temple. We'll also have 2 new debuts, a killer main event, and the beginning of a tag title tournament, and El Jefe's decision about the next Lucha Underground champion. Thanks for watching. Now make sure to like, comment and subscribe for free so you don't miss an episode. It'd be great to hear from you.